What's up everyone and welcome to the club. In today's video, you'll now be creating a sketch illustration of Luffy Gear 5 from One Piece. Let's begin today's lesson by sketching a line coming down the center of a page to help with the symmetry of our drawing. Let's start from the very top in the middle. Just gonna lightly work our way down towards the bottom. Now along the bottom in the center, let's draw another line going across from left to right. So start with the left side and then go out towards the right. Now this is where the eyes are gonna sit. Now I want to create a large gap in between the eyes, so let's mark this off. From the center, let's move over towards the left. Just going to mark off the inside edge of the eye with a straight line, and then we'll take that same distance over towards the right and do the same thing. Now from here, draw a circle on the left side, touching the inside line and that bottom line. So we're going to go all the way around, and just pull that back in. Let's draw the same size circle on the right, coming down and up towards the same height. I'm just roughing in these circles, they don't have to be perfect. Now in between the eyes, let's sketch a straight line going across. Let's block in the bottom edge of the brow, starting from this line. I'm just going to angle this up and across the eye toward the left, and then do the same thing on the right. Now I want to draw two smaller circles for the iris tucked in underneath the brow. So on the left side, I'm going to step in. Just going to pull this in and then up towards the inside, and then do the same thing on the right. Let's add a smaller circle in the center of the iris for the pupil. And then from the inside corner, we're just going to curl around the brow. Let's start on the left. We're going to go all the way around and in, go up towards the top, just swirl that around. Let's do the same thing on the right, going the opposite direction. Again, going up towards the same height and swirling that around. And then from the top of that swirl, draw another straight angle line going up and out along the top of the eyebrow. Now from the inside of the brow, we're just going to curve this in and then down toward that center line to right about there. This will be the tip of the nose. Now I'm going to go back to the outside of each eye, draw a straight line coming down, just to mark off the corner of the mouth. And then from this point, we're going to step down on the left, curve the mouth, coming down underneath the nose, and then pull that up towards the right. Let's go back over towards the left side, draw the bottom of the mouth, curve this down and in towards the center, and then back up. Let's separate the teeth in half, starting on the left, curve this down in the middle, and then back up. Now we're going to draw on the bottom half of the head. From this point, let's step out, curve the head coming down, just working our way around the mouth, and then in towards the center point, towards the chin. Let's go up and out towards the right. Now I'm going to add some guidelines along the inside edge of the hairline. Let's start on the left, bend this up, then into right about there. And do the same thing on the right. Let's close off the center with a curve, coming down and up. Now from here, let's add some shape to the inside of the hair. Let's start from this point. We're going to add a curl. We're going to come across and up towards the right, go all the way around, and just swirl that up on the end. Let's add some hair coming down on the right side, come down and in, and I'll just taper that back up towards the top. Let's go back over toward the left side. Just going to come in toward the left brow and go up and out. Let's add a large curl over on the right, starting up here, come around and down. Now I'm just going to curl that back up. Let's taper this around and then back in. Now I want to curl some hair coming around the side of the head. Let's start from the top left, come around and in around the eye, and just taper that back up and out. Let's go over towards the right and do the same thing, coming in around the eye, and then out. Let's layer another strand along the side, coming down and in, and go back Now I'm going to add a point coming out along the side. Going out and down. Match that on the right side. Pull this up and in. Now I want to tuck the ears in behind the hair. Let's start over and left, spin this down and in towards the side of the head. Now I'm going to stay along the bottom and add the side of the neck. Let's start on either side with a straight line coming down. Then from the top, step down. We're going to slope the shoulders, coming down and then out. Let's block in the collar of the shirt. Come down and in with a curve on either side. Now underneath the head, bend this down and out. Now let's go back up to the top and draw that centerpiece of the hair. Let's start over on the left side. I'm just going to curl this out, pull that back in toward the center, bend this back toward the left, and then the right towards the tip. And we'll work our way back down along the right side. We come down and out, bend this in, go out, and bend that back in towards the side. And then from here, we'll start adding some layers, working our way out towards the side and bottom. Let's start over on the left side. Just gonna add a curl going around and then up, come in. I'm just gonna swirl this back around and then out towards the top. Bend this back in on the side and come in. Let's go over towards the right, swirl this around, come in and then out. I'm just going to work our way back in along the side. Now I'm also going to add a swirl along the left side. So I'm going to come in, come around, and just swirl that in on the left. Let's go back over towards the left, come all the way around the side, and then in. Now up here, I'm just going to swirl this back around, creating a little swirl. Come around the side, come up, and then out. Now you want to make our way back in towards the side of the head. So coming out, just adding a wave along the bottom. Let's go over towards the left. Going up, curl this back around and in. Now again, we're just going to work our way back in towards the side and just tuck that in behind the hair. Now I'm going to add a few flames along the shoulders. Let's start on the left. Going around, just working our way up toward the tip. And back around and up. Now we just want to add a point on the end and just blend that out towards the top of the shoulder. Let's go over towards the right. Just going to swirl this around. And then again, just working our way around the outside. Now before we start adding some detail, we want to go back and lightly erase some of these guidelines. Now moving to the tip of our pencil, we're going to refine the shape and add a little bit more detail. Let's start with the brow. Start with the outside, just darkening up these lines. And we also want to add a little bit more shape to the brow. So we come in, give it a slight bend going out underneath the hair. Just going to overlap that hair on top of the brow. And continue with the eyebrow. And from here, we're just adding some layers. Starting with the top layer first, and then adding the bottom layers in after. Let's add some folds inside the brow. And just working our way down towards the nose. I'm also adding a little bit of shading as we go. I'm just readjusting the placement of the iris and pupils. I'm just going to add a small highlight on the top corner of each eye. We'll darken up the pupils going in behind that highlight. And we'll darken up the iris again going around that highlight. It's going a shade lighter than the pupil. We're going to add a shadow coming down from the eyebrow on top of the eye. I'm just going to add that scar across the face on the right side, just underneath the eye. Just adding the stitches. And then moving our way across the mouth. Also forgot to mention that I'm using a mechanical pencil with a 2B graphite stick. But you can use pretty much whatever you like. You see that I'm just adding some shading and some folds as we go. So just darken up the corners of the mouth and just fading that in. Also moving to the side edge of our pencil and just adding a shadow just underneath the mouth. I'm just going to separate the teeth. Now along the bottom, just adding a little bit of a gum line, just these little points. And going back and just lightly shading that in. Now just work our way around the face in towards the hair. And I want to keep the detail of the hair a little bit rough. I can always come back and add some more detail after. Shade in the ears. Also bring some of that shadow down along the side of the head, just to help give this some shape. I'm just placing a plain piece of paper just underneath my hand to prevent any smudging. And then just working my way around the hair. I'm just going to roughly go around and add some shading to the hair. Just placing the shadows along the bottom, so the light's being cast from the top going across our character. And now we're going to move in and start adding some shape to the neck area. Just adding some folds. A little bit more detail to the collarbone. Now the head's going to cast a shadow along the top of the neck, so we just want to darken this up and just lean this over towards the right. So the shadow's going to be a little bit darker along the top. And now we're just blending these flames in towards the top of the collar. And going back and adding some shading. And as we get closer to the end of our drawing, we'll tighten up our shadows and always be sure to sign our artwork. And that's pretty much it. There's a sketch illustration of Luffy Gear 5. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you did, please make sure you subscribe because I'm posting new anime lessons each week. I want to thank you for watching and I'll see you again soon.